Why? Not recording. Okay, fine. Yeah. So, guys, today's session it was the continuation of the yesterday's class only. Okay, but for your understanding purpose, again, I can able to explain with a few minutes of it. Okay, and see the class what exactly we are discussing from the statistics, which is the measure of dispersion. Okay, which is what measure of dispersion. So this is very important point, actually, measure of dispersion with respect to the data. So dispersion in the sense, we are always talking about data. For example, you have the some 1 lakh of records are there. That particular 1 lakh of records, how they are distributed, how their variability is there in between the data, how they can spread over the two-dimensional things. Okay, so that we can able to do that, we are calling it say measure of dispersion. Okay, measure of dispersion in the sense, we can able to say that it's a spreading of the data. We can able to measure the how the data is spreaded. Okay, or else how the data is dispersed in the sense, you already know what is mean that dispersion is that settle down of that particular data in their respective positions. Okay, how the data is variability. Okay, variability, measure of variability in a sample or population data. So variability in the sense change, variation. Variability is nothing but it's a variation of the between the data. Okay, so these things we can able to measure, that we are calling it say measure of dispersion. Measure of dispersion in the sense, the data how which is spreaded, how the data is measured, sorry, dispersed, how the data is variability between the data, that we can able to calculate it, that we can able to measure with help of the measure of dispersion. To figure out the measure of dispersion, there is a lot of parameters are there. There are lot of parameters are there. From that one, the first parameter for to figure out the range of measure of dispersion, which is the range. Okay, range is the a parameter of the measure of dispersion. With help of the range, we can able to we can able to try to figure out the measure of dispersion, but it is not much accurate. Okay, this is not much accurate. And next one is the variance. What is the next point actually? Variance. Variance. Okay, so variance is the talk about a squared deviation, right? Squared difference between the mean and that particular points, right? Okay, so variance. So next point is it's a standard deviation. Standard deviation, STD. So standard deviation, right? Standard variation also. Standard deviation or standard variance, we can able to say anything actually. Standard deviation. Okay, next point is coefficient of variation, CV. CV in the sense coefficient of variation. So this is also coefficient of variance. This is also parameter of measure of dispersion, how the data is distributed, how the data is distributed towards central tendency, towards central point, that we can able to calculate it with help of the range, variance, standard deviation, coefficient of variance. Okay, the next point is and skewness of the data and cortices of the data, cortices of the data. So guys, if you're getting the new names, don't confuse yourself. These things will be only technical terms, but the theory or else the principle of each and every point you already learn your 8th standard itself. Okay, in your 8th standard itself, the behind the concept of behind the principle of each and every point, you already learn it. You already learned it. Next one is interquartile range, and next one is data quality, DQ, data quality. Okay, data quality. See, this is the things will help you to figure out the how the data is distributed, how the data is spreaded, how the data is variated between the data points. Now we understood, guys. I'm asking a question from all of you. Did you understood what I explained as of now? If we have at least one single point of question, please let me know. Please let me know. And meanwhile, some people, they are unable to access the canvas things. So how we can able do that practically, I would like to show you. So guys, actually this is my computer. In this particular computer, I given access for this many people, but Banu and Jyoti and Venki, these three guys are not accepted the invitation. See, if you're facing any kind of trouble, I would like to send you your invitation. Your rejected, guys. See, here it is showing me three invitation has been not accepted. That means you're not accepted. See how you can able to access. If and only if you're accepted, then we can able to see the things actually. So you rejected my things. How you can able to access it, huh? For example, I am giving my mail actually. For example, Anjan to, yeah, it's my official. Okay, Anjan to ai at the rate of gmail.com. Okay, for example, this is the mail i I given over here. That is, it's my end. It's my end. I'm doing it. You don't need to do it. If I did this thing, for me it will be showing me something like this. See, here it is showing me a lot of things actually. Like I would like to send you. Okay, Anjan, add user. Okay, so whenever I'm sent this thing to my mail id, I think how I sent it in the same way. I How I sent it to you, in the same way I sent it myself actually. So in this particular situation, I just need to go for open my mail id. Okay, so in the same way you can open your mail id. If you open your mail id, you can see the invitation, canvas invitation. Let me see if I'm getting the canvas invitation or not. Let me see now. No, it just takes some time. Reload the site. Let me see after some time actually. If that mail, I definitely receive it. For the time, it just takes some time actually, at least 5 to 6 minutes. Okay, yeah. Just come to the session again. So this is the measure of dispersion. Measure of dispersion, it was totally talk about data, how the data is distributed, how the data is dispersed, how the data is variability, that we can able to figure out, that we can able to measure. That is measure of dispersion. To find the measure of dispersion of the data, there is some kind of parameters are there: range, variance, standard deviation, coefficient of variance, skewness, kurtosis, and IQ or interquartile range, and DQ, data quality. Okay, this is the parameters will help you to know the measure of dispersion. I just need some kind of inputs from you, whether you understood or not. If you could not understood, you just raise your hand. Anjan, I'm not understood. Then I can able try to explain it. I can try to elaborate it. Shivaram,
I got it, Anjan. No worries.
that's cool. That's cool. At least Shivaram, you also, or at least Mani, Sahida, because of you are the professionals are here. Okay, and this Praveen, Neha, Jyoti, Banu, and even Anuj also. It's a one of experienced guy. Even Anuj, see who are working in the companies. Please respond. Okay, because of these are the guys are student. Like Uma is a student. Okay, and Praveen also one of a job seeker actually. But Neha and Jyoti and Banu is a job seeker, and Akanksha, these guys are students. Okay, so might they are not much aware of the subject. At least Shivaram, Mani, and Sahida. Okay, and Anuj, you guys need to be respond quickly, and you need to ask the questions actually. Okay, so let's go for understanding the range. So what is range? I think this is the thing I already explained yesterday's class itself, even though I would like to try to explain it one more time. Okay, for example, you have a data, you have a data actually. So the data in the sense it might having the some kind of number of records, right? So from the number of records, there is some kind of extreme data is there. Okay, some extreme data. Extreme in the sense what? It might be high data, it might be low data. For example, you have some kind of data is there. From that particular data, there is some kind of extreme data is there. It can be related to max or it can be related to mean. For example, I have a data is 1 and 4 or 5 and 10 and 100. Okay, and minus 20. Okay, 30 and 40 or 50, like you have a data actually. So we have the 1 5 10 100 minus 20 30 50 is there. Okay, so this is my data. From this particular data I need to find out the extreme low value as well as extreme high value. Okay, extreme low value, I need to find out the extreme high value. Extreme low value, we are saying that it's a min. What is the extreme low value? The extreme low value of my particular data is it's a minus 20. So you need to take the minus 20. Next one is, so next one is max, right? Extreme high data is it's a max data. So what is the max data from your overall data, from your population or from your sample? It's 100, right? So 100 you need to consider actually. What is the range of the formula? Range is telling that which range the data is distributed. 100 to 100, max minus min. Max minus of min is minus 20. So which is the 120, right? So the range is distributed with 120. So from the mean it was reaching to the till 120. So that is the reason range is not giving much better result to figure out the measure of dispersion. This is a failure parameter actually. But it can be passed in some time when the data is distributed equally. When the data is distributed equally. For example, we have the data 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, 5 and 6 is there in this particular situation. And so 1 is my min and 6 is my max. So 6 minus 1, it will be the 5. So the data can be distributed around the 5. Okay, so from the mean and till 5, from the plus or minus, so within this particular 5 range the data can be distributed. Okay, so this is the data will be equally distributed, then range can be worked properly. But when the data is distributed, there is some kind of outliers are there, that particular situation, range it not give the better results actually. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear? Now the next point is it's a variance. The next point is it's a variance. First, before that one, before we are calculated the variance, first of all we need to calculate the mean. What is the mean? Mean means it's a average value of the particular data, right? Now we are talking about variance. Variance means it is the squared mean, MSE, squared mean error. Squared mean square error, you can say that MSE, mean square error. So mean squared error in the sense we can have the formula is, for example, I have the n records are there, so which is starting from the 1 to n, okay, which is starting from to 1 to n. So each and every record xi in the sense which is the record actually, okay, each and every record, it can be differentiated with a mean value. X bar in the sense it's a mean, and now it's a square, right? So you can do the square. So the whole thing by if it is the population, then we can able to use the n only, but if it is the sample, then we can able to use the n minus 1, but I can consider it will be the n only. Okay, so this is the variance sigma square. Okay, this is the thing we can able to call it sigma square. Sigma square in the sense it's a variance. Variance only we can able to call it, it's a mean square error. So variance is all about to talk about the variance, which is all about to talk about the error term. Variance is nothing but it's a error term. If variance is more, what is the if variance is more, then what is mean that variance is more, then what is mean that Shivaram? If variance more, then what is mean that error is high, right?
Yes, yes, Anjan. If variance is more, error is high,
Error
and the
is high in
deviation
the
is
sense
more,
data
error is
is not
high.
distributed properly, right? It's not distributed around
Yes,
the mean, right?
yes,
So if variance is more, which means that there is a error will be high. If error is high in the sense there is a gap, so that means the central tendency. So the data, the whole data, it is not distributed around the central tendency. Central tendency in the sense you already know that the midpoint, the middle point, okay, the central point of the whole data, right? That we can able to that we figure out with help of the trimmed mean, weighted mean, harmonic mean, and the mean, and the median mode. This kind of parameter will help you to find out the central tendency. Central tendency describing the central point of the overall data. So variance in the sense the whole data which is distributed around the central point or not, that we can able to calculate it. Okay, if it is the variance is high, that means the data is not distributed properly around the central distance, central point, central tendency. Okay, is it clear? That was the variance actually. If the variance is high, so you can say that the data is not distributed properly around the central tendency. Huge there is a huge difference is there. There is some kind of error will be more. Okay, so in this particular situation you might be thinking, sir, you are doing the square, right? So that is the reason the variance can be more. Because of, for example, you can see that I have the 2, okay, I have the 4 square means what, it's a 16, right? For example, 5 square in the means what, it's a 25, right? Yes or no? Just try to understood my point. If the square is more, so if even the element is very small, if you squared them, then it was double, it was having the more value, right? So in case of variance, because of the square term, because of this particular square term, we are getting the we are unable to find out the exact value of the difference of your particular data. You are unable to find out the difference between the data points. Okay, so that is the reason standard deviation is comes to the picture. Standard deviation is comes to the picture. So coming to this particular standard deviation, it was very simple thing actually. Square root of square root of variance, nothing you don't need to do actually. After you calculated the variance, you just do the square root of it. Okay, you just do the square root of it. That means sigma equal to okay, sigma equal to square root of summation of I is starting from 1, it will go at till number of records. Each and every record xi minus x bar in the sense it's a mean of it. You just need to do the square. Okay, and then you can buy the division with the number of records. Okay, this is the formula. What it is doing, the square root term it was removing and it was giving some value, right? So square and square root, it can be it can be cut off or not, yes or no? For example, 2 power of 2, this square and this square root can be cut if or not, then you are getting the 2 or not. So what you understood from this particular thing? So in this particular situation, in this particular situation, square root will give you the square root will give you the so the error will be it can give the exact error, yes or no? In case of variance, the error can be even you have the small error. Okay, even you have the small error. Okay, so it will be showing you as that there is outlier. Outlier in the sense it's a extreme data. Okay, it is not falling towards the central tendency, it was fall somewhere else. Okay, that is the outlier actually. So variance, it is not even there is a small error term is there towards the central tendency and the point, it will give you the more error. But when comes to the standard deviation, it if we have the minute difference is there between the data, it can be negligible, it can be negligible. If and only if the data is really outlier, then it definitely telling that this is the data is not spreading towards the central tendency, it was in somewhere else. Okay, that will give you by this standard deviation, that will give you by standard deviation. Next one is coefficient of variance. Guys, this is the very important thing. I would like to tell you why this is important. You can see the example, then you can easily understood. Really, it's amazing parameter actually. So it was deciding parameter first of all. Okay, coefficient of variance, coefficient of variance. Coefficient of variance in the sense it was relative standard there is another name for RSD. There is another name for coefficient of variation, it is RSD. RSD means relative standard deviation. Relative standard deviation. Relative standard deviation. Guys, this is why it is amazing. The reason is that the formula only you can understood. CV means coefficient of variation, which is equal to the standard deviation by the mean. What we are doing again, whatever the whatever the standard deviation you calculated, that particular standard deviation, it will be division with the mean value of your particular parameter. Whatever the thing we are calculated, whatever the column we consider, whatever the data elements you consider, the overall mean value, the overall mean value, which is division from the this particular standard deviation. In this particular situation, this is the thing we are calling it's a relative standard deviation. Relative standard deviation. So there is some important parameter between, because of coefficient of variation, definitely it will be deciding. Even there is a issue is there, there is a issue is there, then it can be easily figure out actually. I can tell you small one of the live example. For example, there is a two.
Anjan,
Yeah.
Anjan, I have a question. Like, for example, if standard deviation is defined as like the points distance between from the mean,
Yeah.
that's what the definition of standard deviation means. How a distance the point has been placed, the data has been placed from the mean. So, what can we infer from the coefficient of variance,
Yes,
the relative standard deviation?
that I can explain you with the proper example. I can explain. Okay. First of all, for example, you have the data. So for example, the data, general way I'm telling actually. For example, you have the data we are scattered on the two-dimensional thing. Okay, for example, this is your data, something like the data is spreading somewhat it's the data is spreading something like this. Okay, in this particular situation, what you did actually, you calculated the mean in the sense it is just a one value, right? So definitely it will be horizontal towards your x, right? Yes or no? For example, if we have the 4.5, if we have the 4.5 mean, then this is the 4.5 for overall data or not? This is the mean, which means that it's a overall mean, right? So we can go for everywhere. This is the 4.5 only, it's a average value. Okay, so above also we have the data, and below also we have the data, and above also we have the data, and below also we have the data, right? So in this particular situation, we are how much variate, how the data is variated from your mean to above or below, whatever it is. From the mean, how the data is variated, that we can able to calculate it with the help of the variance and standard deviation. But variance will be
Yes,
the square root term, so that even there is a small gap is there, then it will be showing me like a huge gap. For that one, I'm
mm,
using the standard deviation. The overall variance what we got it, that you squared it, that you are applying the square root of it, that particular moment.
perfect.
So it was reducing some, it was compressing some error. Okay, so
Mhm.
instead of giving the huge error, it will be showing me small error term. Okay, so we are deciding
Yeah,
that okay, there is a small gap. If really, if we have the huge gap is there, definitely it will be telling you it's a huge difference is there. Okay,
sure.
but a coefficient of variance, how it is effectively working, I can show you practically. I can show you some examples so that you can understood. Otherwise, the why the coefficient of variance is comes to the picture, it will little um, little little confusion is there again. Okay, so I don't want to make you in the confusion mode. I want to make it is a structured format only. Okay, so like I think whatever I explained, that thing will be there in this particular document, guys. Whenever you free, you can read it. That you can awesome document. You just read it, you can able to understand. See guys, only for because of you I created this particular document. I affected a lot of year. Okay, even my job, it was in the risk that moment I build this particular documents actually. Okay, hope you understood. Don't misuse my documents. Okay, only for my student, because of other organizations, they're copying my data, and they are started working on their own methodologies and everything. Got it? So without effortless, they're earning, or they are sharing the knowledge. So they need to effort, right? They need to spend some effort, and right, yes or no? Yeah, anyway, even if they have the my document, that absolutely it's fine for me only. But I'm telling initial days, until unless getting my name in the fame. Okay, so I need to wait some more days to maintain some kind of things, right? Yes or no? Yeah, this is the document I already shared it. This thing with trimmed mean, geo mean. This is the thing I already explained. So yeah, just wait, guys. Yeah, see, that's what I just explained. Range I explained, standard deviation I explained. Okay, and variance I explained. Okay, and see, coefficient of variation. Okay, so coefficient of variation is also known as the RSD, relative standard deviation. It is the standardized measure of dispersion. You understood the name itself. It is a standardized measure of dispersion of a probability distribution or frequency distribution. See guys, probability distribution, frequency distribution is nothing else. For example, in one particular data, if it is repeated 5 times, one particular data, if it is repeated 3 times, that is the frequency. How the data is frequently distributed, that table we are calling it's a frequency distributed table. The same thing, if you are expressing in the format of probability term, then it is a probability distribution term actually. Okay, see, let's take a small example. Let's have one more example for try to understand the how the standard deviation and the coefficient of variation is helpful. We are batting score made by the two batsmen in 10 matches. Okay, there is a two batsmen are there, they are playing well. So they are taking the some score from the each and every batsman from the 10 average matches. Okay, match 1, match 2, match 3, match 4, like this. There is a 10 matches they played, batsman 1, batsman 2. Okay, so batsman 1 for the 10 matches he played, he overall score is it's a 510. You don't see the mean and everything. For example, batsman 2, he run the score is 435. Try to understand. Batsman 1, batsman 2, both are played the same matches. batsman 1, he got the overall score is 510, batsman 2 overall score is 435. See, can you tell me which batsman is better? With help of this particular data, which batsman is better? It's just simple straightforward question. You have the two batsmen are there, they played the 10 matches, and the overall score for the batsman 1 is 510, the overall score for batsman 2 is 435. The mean value of the batsman 1 is 51. That means for each match he run the score is 51. For batsman 2, he run the score for average match is 43.5. Tell me which batsman is best? I'm telling about which batsman is best. Answer, guys, please. Shivram?
Based on average, if you look at the, obviously, based on average, you tell it as an batsman one.
But if you
But
take the
if you
only
look at the
average,
consistency,
yeah,
if you
yes,
look at the consistency based on
that's
the
correct.
variation and the standard
That's
deviation,
correct.
then batsman two would be
That's
better.
absolutely correct. That's a point of the data scientist, actually. Okay, that is the way we need to think about it. You cannot decide a one factor. Okay, that is means what? You are flayed. You failed. If you take only one parameter and you decided the thing, then why the data scientist? Data consistency is very important thing. Okay, as a batsman, whatever it is, the data, it must be consistent. Okay, it must be consistent. They don't have the much variability. Okay, the data, it must be having the some proper measure. Yes or no? Proper measure distribution. See, if you see the mean of these two batsmen, we can say that batsman 1 is good, batsman 2 is not good. By seeing above data, we can say that batsman is better than the batsman 2. But can we give the performance since its mean is greater, right? Is it true? No. If you see the mean, definitely it will be fail again. That particular moment, we need to do some kind of measure of dispersion. If you see only central point, guys, central distance, central tendency, we seen it. With help of the central tendency, you can't take the decision. You're just telling the central point only. But the data is consistent or not, data is inconsistent or not, okay, data is quality or not, data can be whether it is the which player is performing with us with a proper mindset. Okay, some people they're within see, you can have the take the example for the Sachin and Sehwag. Okay, Sehwag will play the with 100. Sehwag can run the underscore within few hours, right? But sometimes within a 50 to 30 score only, he can run out, or it can be, he can, the wicket can down, right? But coming to the Sachin, so he can play it until 100 with a consistent manner. After the 100, he can play the well, right? But coming to the Sehwag, within the 25 only, we can started he can started playing the game like change. He can try to change the game in after the 25 score only. But Sachin can play the game. He can try to change the game until unless he reached the 100. Once he reached the 100, then he can start playing well. I mean, it's before also he played well, but until he getting the 100, he can go very slow. Okay, that means there is a consistence. We can try to have it the batsman 1 and batsman 2 for the 10 matches. And first we can try to, this is the sum of it for the overall score. This is the batsman 2 for overall score, and we calculated the mean value is, it's a 51. Here we calculated the mean value is a 43.5. The difference between the 54 minus 41, that will be the minus 3. And this is the difference for the batsman 2 and the mean value, that is minus 1.5. Okay, then we are squared it, it's a 9. That means minus 3 square in the sense it's a 9, minus 1.5 in the sense it's a 2.25. Okay, like this we are squared it. Then you sum it, right? Squared, this is only sum square, but we need to go with by 10 also, right? If you buy the 10, it is the 3168.4. This is 46, this is a 465. You can try to understand. The standard deviation is 56.288. The variance of batsman 1 is 3168.4. The variance of the batsman 2 is 465. The variation is very small. Coming to the batsman 2, that means the error will be very small. But batsman 1, there is a lot of error is there, but the error will be, it's a thousands difference is there, right? That is also we are not considerable. So that is the reason we went for the batsman standard deviation for the batsman 1 and the standard deviation of the batsman 2. The standard deviation also, it will be approximately less only 100%. Standard deviation of the batsman 1, this is the for batsman 2, guys, this is not batsman 1, so this is wrong. This is batsman 1 standard deviation, standard deviation, right? Yes. Coefficient of variation, let's talk about, this is the batsman 1 variance, this is the batsman 1 standard deviation, this is the batsman 1 coefficient of variation. So the coefficient of variation is 1.10 with respect to the batsman 1. So now we are calculated the variance of the batsman 2 and the standard deviation of the batsman 2, and the coefficient of variation of the batsman 2 is 0.5. Here it's 1.1. So coefficient of variance, we clearly see that standard deviation gives the different pictures for the both and batsmen. Through batsman 1, he is high average, but his variance is very high. So batsman 1 is less reliable. In other hand, batsman 2 lower average but is much consistent than the batsman 1. Also, coefficient of variations for batsman 2 is very lower than the batsman 1, which ensures that low variability, high consistency. So guys, in a data science perspective, data consistency is very very important. Okay, we can, so if we only had taken mean into the account, we could not have the gotten the true picture. This problem will solved by the dispersion measures. Dispersion measures. So Shivaram, did you understand the importance of the coefficient of variations?
Mm, yeah, but it's not even. Again, my question still remains the same.
Yes.
Like the standard deviation defines the distance between from the mean,
Yeah.
right? The point of each and every point, and on average, how much distance they are
Yeah.
placed.
Yeah.
Like what coefficient of variance defines.
Yes. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's
For example, if here the standard deviation of the batsman 1, batsman 2, here 56 and 20. For example, here we got the 56. Here the batsman 1, you got the, okay, 50 only. But the mean is different. Try to understand. Okay, here we got the standard deviation is 56, and here the standard deviation is
perfect.
almost
And
50.
understood you, like for example, like let me put you on an example again,
Yeah.
Anjan.
Yeah.
In the same batsman 1 and batsman 2,
Hmm.
like let's change the data. Like batsman 2 has consistently scored a 21, 22, 23, 24,
Yeah.
somewhere between 25 to 21
Yeah.
consistently scored,
Yeah.
and his average is 21,
Yes.
and his
Yeah. If the,
standard deviation is less.
yes, under,
But we cannot say that he's scoring at 25 in an
hmm,
every match. That means he's not getting past that.
yeah. So there the data is the consistent but low average. That means you could not consider it.
Yeah, like in that case, even your variance, even your data standard deviation and coefficient variance will be less, like less than, like you'll be getting a less than 1 or a less than zero point 0.5 as well. So like how do you define a coefficient variance as an object? Well, like as an like we like as a theoretically we know coefficient of variation is a best measure of tendency. Like that's a best measure, KPI which can measure the
Standard,
tendency of
not
values.
best, actually standardized.
Standardized, that's what we call a standardized one.
Yeah.
So even in this case, this kind of data set, like that can guide you a wrong position, right?
Yeah. So when you are really talking with the data, you could not consider only one parameter. Okay, try to understand my point. You have to
Yeah.
be considered the central tendency data, as well as we need to take the Measure of dispersion data, measure of central tendency we need to consider, measure of dispersion we need to consider. Okay, if the both will be satisfied, then that will be the best score, that will be the best score. Okay, so their averages will be almost equal. Try to understood here. See, 46 and 50, 50, that
Yeah.
is not much difference, right? Try to understand. So in real world, for
Yeah.
example, two players are there, they got their average score will be the both will be the same only. Okay, average score will be the this example almost the average score will be the same, because of 46 and 46 and or 43 and 51 is not much difference, it's just a 6 or 7. It's 1 6 is not much difference for this particular area, right? That means
Yeah.
here the average will be the same. You need to consider in such a way, here the average will be the same. Once the average will be the same, you could not decide it, right? Then we can able to go for data consistency. Okay. Meanwhile, if the data if meanwhile if the if the average will be very far, if the average will be very far, okay, that particular situation also the data consistency important. But so one factor we could not decide it actually, with help of the only mean, with help of the only variance, with help of the standard deviation, with help of the quotient of variation, we could not decide it actually. Okay, I think I can
Yeah.
connect with you
Got it.
personally, I can explain you more on that particular thing. Okay, so but
Yeah.
try to
Yeah.
understand
Sure.
guys. So when you are really talking with the data, data must be consistent or inconsistent, that we need to check first of all. Forgot about the parameters, forgot about the values we are getting. Okay, you need to check first of all data is consistent or not. Data consistent or not, that we can able to calculate it with help of the only coefficient of variation. Okay, coefficient of variation. Is it clear?
Variance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. And so that's for today's class, and I hope you understood almost half of the measure of dispersion. The rest of the things we'll see the by tomorrow's lecture. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Shivaram, actually we are going to be
Mm.
starting the Python session at 7 o'clock. That means this time only. Is it possible to attend the Python class as well parallelly? Six,
Yeah. That should
six
not be
to
a
seven
problem.
will be the statistics. 7 to 8 will
Mm.
be it's your Python class.
7 to 8, right?
Yeah,
That's
7 to 8.
9:30 to 10:30
Yeah, 9:30 to 10:30.
my time.
Yeah,
That should not be a problem.
yeah, cool, pretty cool.
Okay.
Rajesh Bandari.
Do you have any do you have any evening classes for from your evening batches for Python?
Actually, I was busy with my work timings. Actually, my work timetable is it's a 12 to 9. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so as in Indian Standard Time. So
Mm-hmm.
after 9 o'clock, and moreover, you know that the things right now it's my family things are not much good.
Yeah.
Okay,
No
so
worries. I'll
so
I'll
I'm
I'll,
not.
I'll pitch in into the
Yeah,
9:30 class.
yeah. Yeah, you can
Okay.
come the same link and you can come now itself. I'm closing the session. I'm come again. I can open it because of this recording is important for you also, right? So I just
Okay.
close it.
Fine.
I can open it. You just come for this particular session. Rajesh
Sure.
Bandreddy. Rajesh, can you
Yeah,
please again log in, please, because of this session is still going on, so that I'm not closed. I need to close it again. I need to open it. Bhagat, you also please log in and again. You just
yeah,
log out and
yeah,
log in again. Okay, within few seconds only.
yeah, Ninja.
So Rajesh and Bhagat and Shivaram, come to online again. I'm closing the same class. I'm closing and again same link we can open it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye guys, all of you.